Hey everybody, thank you so much for being a part of class 21. Thank you. Okay. So this week was about being a part of a larger community and thanking the people who are supporting you. So this is what we did. Keishi did the handouts. Mary talked about successes and challenges with our facilitator. We thanked our support people. We talked a little bit about your assessments that are coming up, tips to keep you on track, and then we did a very quick demo. A lot of people have asked me about spiralizing, and so I thought I would do a demo with it and give you 3 recipes. Now, here's the deal with these recipes. You could also just get a really good vegetable peeler and make noodles. I've done that before. So, but the spiralizer makes things a little bit easier. And so these are really fast, easy recipes. The other thing is I have some notes in the kitchen notes for this week about spiralizing, and they give you a book on it. It's not rocket science, and if it was, I wouldn't do it. Okay, so successes and challenges. Well, in the New Soul team, this was our big success, was Lincoln, one of our facilitators, Kenny Smith, had a baby boy, and there he is, oh, kitty guy. So then we went and talked about the challenge and how people were doing, and they introduced us to their support person. And they also talked about which was the easiest and which was the hardest part of the challenge to do. And for most people, it was the nutrition aspect of it. They're sticking to their meal plan. We really want to help you do that. We don't want you to feel like you are out on your own. Oops, too bad for you. We want to, and the thing is that a lot of people are doing fairly well. They really are. But they have a little bit of glitch here and there, and then they get stuck. Don't do that. Let us help you. Talk to us. I meet with people before and after class all the time. I can definitely have a 10-minute conversation with you. Dr. Bree could talk to you. Mary could talk to you. Anyone that you want to talk to help you through this. But this is a nutrition study. This is what I hear Dr. Bree say all the time. This is a nutrition study. It's not a physical activity study. Although we do want you to do physical activity as part of it. So the most important thing to focus on is the food you're eating. So that may be the hardest part. I understand that. But another aspect is that that's going to take you the furthest, fastest. It really, really will as far as your overall health. So then we wanted to say thank you to our supporters, the people who live with us or who work with us, who are supporting, and we gave them a big thank you. And we also have thank you cards for them. So if you would like to get one for someone that is supporting you, we have more, and we'll be happy to get it to you. Okay, so let's talk about 6-month assessments. We broke up the incentive so that people could feel like, okay, I'm getting we make it a little bit more fun. And for completing your labs, you're going to get $10. For wearing the accelerometer, you're going to get $10. The dietary recall is $10. Now, the thing to remember about the dietary recall is that if you get, oh, hey, Thursday, here's the email, we need your dietary recall, the food that you are going to be writing down is the stuff that you ate on Wednesday. It's not stuff on Thursday, it's the stuff on Wednesday. So, whatever the day before, you get that email. And the medication form, a lot of people are like, oh, the medication form, nothing's changed, it doesn't matter. It does matter. We need to know if things have changed, what has changed about it, or if nothing has changed. All of this information is very important in the long term. So it may not seem like it's really important to you, but it's really important to us. And so that's why we give you $10 just to do it. So there you go. And then for the 6-month survey and the dietary recall, it's $10. You come on in, and we're going to do that instead of class because we know that that survey is really long. So we've decided to do that instead of class. Okay, so here's a review of the appointment details. Plan to be here for a half an hour to 45 minutes. I shouldn't say here, it's not in the building. And your lab assessments will be blood pressure, height, weight, waist circumference, hip circumference, and blood draw. You're not going to do a DEXA. You don't need to come in sweats. So don't worry about that. You must fast prior to your appointment time, and you must fast 12 hours. So that means that if your appointment is at 6:30 in the morning, the last thing you eat the day before is at 6:30. And after that, you're just going to have water. You could have a cup of chamomile tea if it's just the tea bag and water, but don't do caffeine. There's no coffee with a little bit of cream in it. None of that kind of stuff, okay? No candy, no breath mints, nothing. Just water. We want you to brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. I had somebody actually ask me that. Yes, we want you to brush your teeth. Drink a lot of water beforehand. I get blood draws being difficult. My veins will sometimes roll. So I know what it's like to be stabbed a few times trying to get something into your vein. Hydrate, hydrate. I always have a couple of glasses of water before I leave my home, and then I drink water all the way to wherever I'm going to get the blood draw, because I do not want hydration to be one of the problems. And so if people are hydrated, it generally makes it a lot easier. Arrive at the appointment. I always say 5 minutes early because you never know if something's going to happen. And if we can get you in 5 minutes early, that would be great. We would be happy to do that. And also, we want to make sure that everything runs on time. So we really want everything to run as quickly as possible. We want you in and out as fast as possible. Here is the address. It's up on Assembly Street. It's where you went to for your baseline stuff. It's not here at our building. So I just want to be sure about that. And we should have people to help you with parking. Tips to keep you on track. Okay. This is something that Mary's been thinking about as far as giving people tips on a weekly basis. I think that's a great idea. And here's the first one. Make sure that your meals have a lot of color. Color brings lots of vitamins and minerals, live in that color. And it makes it appealing. It makes it more fun to eat. I find that when I go to a restaurant and they make a really beautiful salad, I really want to eat it, much more than if I'm at home and I'm sticking it in a bowl and, it's just like, here's part of a tomato and maybe a couple of olives, So making it pretty is really great. One of the other things is to change up the type of dressing that you have. I really like stuff really simple, but every once in a while I really love having like a tahini ginger dressing on my salad. It just makes them more interesting, and I just really like changing it up a little bit. The other thing you can do is make sure that you brighten up the colors. So you can have lots of different types of peppers, carrots, radishes. There's a lot of different stuff that you can put this in. And you can pop it on top of almost anything. You can pop it on top of rice and stews and cooked veggies and, lots of different color to make it interesting and very pretty. And the same thing if you're using nuts and seeds on your salad, it can make it really pretty just to have a little bit of that sprinkled on top. It can look really nice. Another thing is to put in purple cabbage, or I like to put in raw beets. But I grate the beets and I chop up a little bit of the purple cabbage to put in there, and it pops the color and it makes me, it also has a really good texture and it makes it crunchy, and I really like having lots of different stuff in there. Mary said that purple cabbage is one of her favorite things, so definitely purple cabbage is great. Now another way to brighten up is to use different color herbs and dressings and spices. So parsley and oregano really can change the flavor, and they give you a nice darker color, especially if you're using lighter lettuces. Nutritional yeast and give it a buttery flavor. It also kind of makes it kind of pretty yellow. Black pepper, chia seeds. Here's another thing that Mary did is that she pureed a mango and put it in one of those little squeeze bottles that you get from the dollar store, and it makes it just really pretty. It's one thing that I've done with dressings, when I'm catering or whatever. I'll have one of those squeeze bottles, and I squeeze the dressing on top of people's salads, and it just looks really pretty. You can also do it with any kind of sauce. On anything, you can take a sauce and then just drizzle it. It looks really pretty and fancy and kind of cool. All right, then we decided to make spiralized noodles. Again, I had been asked a lot about spiralized noodles and things like that, so we decided to do that as a demo. We did one of the recipes that you have, which is the zoodle noodle salad. We made it in 5 minutes. It was so fast. You just put the thing together, you run the zucchini through your spiralizer. I made it a little pretty because I did the carrot also. I cut a little V in it, so it came up in little half moons. Very pretty. And then the sauce was really simple. The sauce was just a bunch of things, but I want to tell you about the sauce. We ended up using half the amount of agave nectar and half the amount of the tamari in the sauce. We pumped up the rice vinegar a little. When you look at the recipe, this will make sense. And I also put this in the kitchen notes for this week. And it just seemed like I liked it, and it seemed like the kitchen staff also liked it when we shifted those ratios a little bit. So try it out for yourself. The other recipes look really yummy too, and I haven't had a chance to try them, but I'm figuring they're going to be just as easy as this salad was. So what did we do today? Well, we found out, because we asked people to introduce their support folks, how much they can really make a difference, and how they can, as somebody said, oh yes, my son, his son was probably less than 10 years old or something like that. He said, yes, my son tattles on me all the time. So it was kind of funny, and it was nice to see that people had so many different people in their lives that were helping them out. We talked about how well you were doing with the challenge and how can we help you to get through that challenge. And also easy dinner ideas, quick, easy dinner ideas. And again, you don't need to buy a spiralizer. You can just take a nice peeler and you can come up with these noodles just as easily. So what are we going to be discussing in the next couple weeks? Okay, well, next week is happiness versus pleasure, and we're going to be talking about desserts, and we'll be making desserts. After that, we'll be having our Thanksgiving potluck, so I get to try your cooking. And we were going to do cornbread muffins, but we weren't sure we would have time to have you taste the muffins that you made, so we thought, well, we'll just do this cookie cranberry sauce, and that will be very yummy. It's really simple and easy, and it tastes really good. The week after that, we're having surveys, so you'll be upstairs filling out your surveys, and the kitchen will be open, and we'll have stew and a salad bar for you because we don't want you to be hungry. Please don't forget the survey at the end of this video, because we want to make sure that you get credit for it. And we want to say thank you so much for everything you do. We really, really appreciate everything you do. We know that this isn't easy, and we know you get frustrated, and we want to help you in any way that we can. Thanks so much for everything you do.